Hey everybody, welcome back to Smirking Gun. I'm Rob. This is my review for The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 15, East. Definitely what you would call a setup or a build-up episode. All things because the finale's a 90-minute, episode, which really tallies to about a 60-some-odd minute finale. Still better than 42 minutes, but a lot of things are put in motion here that are going to play a huge, part in the finale. So anyway, let's get started. Carol leaves after, you see how she leaves. Like in the last episode, they do the little promo thing or whatever. Of course she's stealthy. She doesn't get seen when she leaves. And Daryl all of a sudden takes off too. And that means that Rosita, Glenn, and Michonne jump in a van to go after him because Rosita knows that he's going after Dwight. Then you got Rick and Morgan who get in a car to go after Carol. So at this point we've got most of our heavy hitters like out and about. We've got Michonne, Glenn, Daryl, Rosita, Morgan, Rick, and Carol all out of Alexandria and kind of leaving Alexandria exposed, in my opinion. I really like the use of the Johnny Cash song in the beginning. This director uses a lot of music in his episodes. It works almost, pretty much all the time. So Carol's driving down the road. And of course, she meets some saviors. I don't know what she thought she was doing by just driving off, but whatever. They shoot the tires out of her car. She puts her hand up. She's telling them, it doesn't have to go this way. And you can't tell what she's going to do, but knowing Carol, yep, she just blows them all away with some sort of machine gun that she had in her coat sleeve. And just boom. And then the other guy comes after her, and she stabs him like through the chest with a big metal spike. And then when later on Rick calls her a force of nature, goddamn right she is. Jesus. I would never want to go up against Carol. I'd want to be her best friend, pretty much, if I was in that situation. Well, then right at the end of that scene, this guy that was left, the one that was talking all the shit to her in the back of the truck, he pulls a knife and she turns, and you hear the gun go off, and then you don't see Carol anymore for the rest of the episode. One guy survived, and he kind of hides when Rick and Morgan pull up, and they spot a trail, so they start following it. And this guy comes out of the trees, and he's walking in their direction. So I don't know how long of a time he waited, because Rick and Morgan would probably spot him in that giant open field, but they didn't. I didn't really see him there either. Okay, so Rosita, Glenn, and Michonne find Daryl's motorcycle where Denise was killed. They know he's going after Dwight, so they go after him. They immediately find him, which is kind of weird. Like I guess he didn't have that big a lead on him, but Glenn tries to talk Daryl down. He's not hearing it. And Rosita actually sides with him and goes with Daryl. And Glenn and Michonne are walking on their way back. And, of course, while Daryl and Rosita are going one way, and Glenn and Michonne are going the other way, Daryl's looking for Dwight. But guess who finds Michonne and Glenn? Dwight. I hate this guy. Hated him in the comics. I hate him even more now as a Flesh and Blood character. He just keeps getting the drop on people. So they're captured. Rick and Morgan find a farm where there's this guy there trying to survive without really finding anything out about him. This guy takes off, and Rick takes a shot at him, but Morgan pushes him so that he misses. They keep having these little philosophical discussions about, you don't have to kill, killing's not right, all life is precious. And Morgan tells him about how he kept a wolf in the cellar, and how he had to fight with Carol, and how he took Denise hostage, and how he saved Denise's life, and like that. All that shit to me doesn't make one right thing in your life doesn't change the fact that you went in there and were slaughtering the Alexandrians. So you pushed one doctor out of the way of a zombie. Good for you. I'm still just like, I understand Morgan's philosophy, but in this world, you kill or you die. It's just, I don't understand. I know that they're trying to build to this thing that's going to happen, I think, where Rick's going to decide that he doesn't have to kill a certain major character, but it's going to take a lot for Rick to get there. I think that's where this is all building up towards. But I can't be 100% positive anymore. I like Morgan. I like the actor Lenny James that plays him, but the whole thing, man, maybe I just don't need this kind of philosophy in my Walking Dead show. There's always somebody with heart, and we have Glenn for that. Thanks. We don't need two hearts. I mean, usually the guy with the heart dies, but you know, if they follow the comic, this might be moot anyway. So then you got Daryl sneaking up on the camp. He finds Dwight and he finds Glenn and Michonne tied up, and all of a sudden there's Dwight standing behind Daryl with a gun. And I looked away for a split second. And all of a sudden, I looked back in time, but it made me jump. All of a sudden, boom! And like the screen is like splattered with blood. So Dwight shoots Daryl. And then you hear him say, "You'll be fine," or "You'll be alright," or something like that. That scared the shit out of me. So now Daryl's wounded. Glenn and Michonne are captured. Morgan's out looking for Carol because he tells Rick to take off, go back to Alexandria where he's needed. And so that's happening, and Rick gets back to the camp, to Alexandria, and Maggie gets her hair cut by Enid, and all of a sudden, she says that the reason she cut her hair is because she has to keep going. Meaning she's got a child, so she doesn't want anything holding her back. Right after she says that, she starts having these intense pains, which is leading me to believe that she could miscarry. I mean, she's not really showing, so it's really early in the pregnancy still, I would say, so she could miscarry, and that would change a lot of the dynamic of what's going on right now on the show, especially like what Glenn would be willing to die for. If he sacrifices himself at some point, and he hasn't made it back to Alexandria to find out what's going on, So this was a slow burn, a lot of stuff with Carol in the beginning, the stuff at the end. There was a lot of talking in the middle. There's nothing wrong with that. It is a definite build-up episode for the finale next week, which I still don't know if it's called Something to Fear or The Last Day on Earth or something like that. They haven't put it on any pages yet. In IMDb, it doesn't say anything. So I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. Only because, even though I'm changing. It's like 9.5 out of 10 because the stuff every time Carol is on screen, it's awesome. The stuff at the end was really tense. And besides me being annoyed with the Morgan character, I really don't have anything to complain about. It's, definitely not filler, but setup. So it just makes me want to, get to next Sunday night really quickly. So that's the end of the review. I wish I knew what the title of the next week's episode is. I haven't even watched the promo yet for next week. I'm about to. So next Sunday, there will be the season finale review of The Walking Dead Season 6. Thanks for tuning in to Smirking Gun. And please like and subscribe. Please. And I will see you again. Thanks. Bye.